Syria, a nation ravaged by over a decade of brutal civil war, is at a crossroads. After the fall of Bashar al-Assad, a new power has emerged, the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or the HTS. This former rebel group, once associated with extremist factions like Al-Qaeda, now finds itself at the center of a global debate on legitimacy, recognition, and the future of Syria. On 8th of December, Bashar al-Assad fled Syria to Russia, leaving a power vacuum in Syria. As rebel forces seized the capital Damascus, the HTS took control, pushing to transition from a militant rebel group to Syria's new governing entity. However, the path forward for the HTS is anything but simple. The international community, which had long labeled the group as a terrorist organization, is now forced to engage with them. Can the HTS shed its violent past and build a new future for Syria? The United Kingdom has been cautious, acknowledging the group's violent history, yet recognizing the need to engage with it. British Foreign Secretary David Lammy was expressed interest in direct dialogue, underscoring the importance of securing stability in the region and providing humanitarian aid to Syria's people. In the United States, officials remain wary of the HTS extremist past. Secretary of State Antony Blinken emphasizes the need for careful diplomacy with the priority on stabilizing Syria and addressing its ongoing humanitarian crisis. The United States has, however, confirmed that it is in direct touch with the HTS leader Ahmad al-Shara, formerly known as Abu Muhammad al-Jalani. The United Nations too has stepped in. A special envoy Geir Pedersen met with HTS leaders shortly after their takeover, calling for immediate action to rebuild Syria's shattered economy and uphold justice for the past war crimes. The European Union, meanwhile, has been more cautious, insisting that any engagement with Syria's new leadership must come with clear commitments to protecting minority groups and women's rights and distancing from extremist ideologies. In a significant shift, Turkey and Qatar have reopened their embassies in Damascus, signaling a clear shift in policy towards Syria's new government. Turkey, which has a key role in Syria's northwest, now looks to stabilize relations with the new leadership. India, meanwhile, has called for a peaceful and inclusive political process, asking all concerned parties to preserve the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Syria. But despite the ethical and moral concerns, New Delhi will certainly miss Assad, who had remained close to India. Despite diplomatic progress, the situation on the ground in Syria remains dire. The conflict has displaced millions, and Syria's economy has been completely devastated, with over half of the population living below poverty line. The UN has called for massive humanitarian aid as the country faces an uphill battle in rebuilding. The international community is hesitant to fully embrace the HTS, but the reality is the war has left Syria in ruins, and any hope for peace depends on rebuilding the country economically, socially, and politically. The HTS, led by Ahmad al-Shara, has made it clear. They want the sanctions lifted. They want the sanctions gone. They argue that the restrictions imposed on Syria under Assad's regime are crippling the country's ability to recover. But lifting those sanctions will require a demonstration of good governance and a respect for the rights of all Syrians. The priority is clear: humanitarian aid and stability. But as the HTS pushes for recognition, the world is watching closely. Can they transform from a militant group to a legitimate government? Can Syria rebuild after years of devastation?